Hello. It's been 2 weeks since I last posted my last video on my channel. That was my progression as a Roblox developer part 1. And since that time, I have finished up all of the cosmetic specs for my high testers for wave 1. I'm going to be doing another wave of cosmetic specs for my other testers as well, but that will come in the future because I want to get to scripting combat and other stuff like that soon. But yeah, in this video I will be showcasing all of the cosmetic specs, like I said before. Did I say it before? I don't even know, but yeah. Before we start, I want to make it clear that, or not make it clear, I want to mention the fact that my last video hit 4K views. As of right now, it's hit over 4,000 views, maybe 4.1K, but that's besides the point. I am so grateful for each one of you guys that joined the Discord server and subscribed to my channel and was talking to me, and just the overall general positive feedback. Yeah, the positive feedback was insane, and it gave me a lot of confidence boost and motivation to continue scripting and stuff. So yeah, thank you guys so much for the positive feedback of that video. I really appreciate it. Yeah, that's about it, but let me get to the showcase. Okay, this spec is called the Solar and Lunar. It is the first spec that I've ever made, and it belongs to Waffle, a tester on my Discord server. Though, if you remember, originally it was just this sun, and it was for one person, but I chose to make the sun and moon its own thing and give it to one person, so it looks just better, and lo and behold, it does. I have some images up if I can find any of what it looked like before, but it was pretty bad. But this is like the final result. This is just better, and I will add sound effects to it later, but I'm not really pressured about it right now. It's not important. But yeah, it has 3 modes. It has both of them active, the Solar and the Lunar, and then it has just the Solar, and then it has just the Lunar. For some reason, the Lunar is the favorited out of the Solar and Lunar, but in my opinion they both look really good. But yeah, this is the Solar and Lunar. Now I'm going to move to the next one. Here is the second cosmetic spec that I've made. This is the Aevum Regalia, aka the Aevum Runes. It's a cosmetic spec for Sukoto, another member of my Discord server. Currently, his spec is the only one with a sound effect to it. I don't know if you can hear it through the music, but there's like a pulsing sound, and it can change. Whoa, let me restart. It has 3 states. There's black and white state, this is dormant. The pulsing state, where it glows a color, and the stable state, where it just has one color and it won't glow. But it has a repeating audio. Again, I don't know if it's audible through the music, but it's definitely there. And the color can change as well. I think to pink, red, and it changes color as it glows up. So I can press it beforehand and it won't change immediately. I have to wait until it finishes glowing to change color. And also the special effect for this cosmetic spec is that when the user gets below 30% HP or gets to 30% HP, its hand glows. It's a reference off of a web series that I'm not too familiar with, but he is. But I'll demonstrate it here. I'll make the window shorter so we can really see it in action. So when the next glow is about to happen, it will play. And as you can see, the glowing gets faster, and the audio cues play faster, and this little hand aura shows up. And this effect only happens when we are 30% HP. And of course, when we reach above 30% HP, then it will disappear. So I'll let it despawn. Actually, there we go. But yeah, I made the glow faster and slow depending on your HP. That's really about it for his spec. Yeah, that's it. In my opinion, it's really cool, especially the sound effects. I think it's just like really like menacing, like hearing someone walk up to you and then their back is just glowing, but that's just me. But yeah, now let me get to the next cosmetic spec. Alright, this spec is called the Emerald Raijin. It is a spec that I made for my good friend Gonzi, and it was the first spec that was more so challenging for me to make due to the fact that it took me over 1,500 lines for me to code. I said this previously in my last video if you watched it, but yeah, that's besides the point. This spec does not have any sound effects right now, but I will implement them in wave 2, most likely, because as of right now it's not important and I really want to get to making the inventory system and the combat before I do anything else. Yeah, enough of that, let me get to the showcase. So there are 3 states to this spec. There is the dormant state, which you see right now. There's no particles, no lightning, just the 2 metal nodes, the core and the 2 chains that flow either side. And then there is the surge state. Now my body is encoded in lightning, so are the 2 nodes, and if you look closely, the 2 nodes now move up and down slowly. I actually use math for this and I should have used tween surface, but it still looks pretty good, so I'm not that bothered about it. The core has some slashes going around it. It's meant to like show a lot of lightning and like power being conducted at this point right here. And the final state is the overclock state. With the animation that plays, the nodes go backwards, they charge up, and then they explode. And then it exposes the inner core within the body, and they all link towards the nodes. There are 5 nodes, I think. 5 beams that show on the nodes that connect to the character. And if I move, they move. And yeah, it just all looks really nice and it flows nicely. And you can toggle between them anyhow. You can switch between all the states, however many you would like. Yeah, that about concludes it for this spec. There is a unique effect that happens to it though. So I'll go to the dormant state. When we're in dormant, the chains are moving quite slowly. When we're in surge, they move a little bit faster. And when we transform to overclock, they slow down and then they speed up rapidly. That's just a cool little detail that I want to add in. Okay, that's about it for the Emerald Raijin. Now it's time to move on to the next and final one. Last but certainly not least is the Blessed one. This spec is owned by Blessed, funnily enough, and this represents my current peak of VFX. So this is the best I could possibly output in terms of making VFX and how my VFX will look. Obviously it will upgrade as time will come and pass, but right now this is the best I could do. So let me get to the showcase. So passively, the halo will always show. As requested by the owner of the spec, the halo will just constantly show. The middle part of it will glow and you'll see why in a second. That's about it for the passive. It has 2 states. One, it has the release state. So when I activate the spec, the center part will glow and then it will emit particles that explode, and then here we go. Now our body is glowing, there's particles at the bottom of our feet, and it just looks really nice from here. And then the second state is the awoken state. Let me turn it on. So the 2 prisms come out nice, and then they explode and it rapidly spins and it slows down. In case you didn't see, I'll do it one more time and I'll face this way. So the 2 prisms will go out, and then they'll accelerate with the spin, and then they'll slow down, and then they'll go up and down in a nice sine motion. This motion took me very long to do. It took me around 3 hours because I couldn't figure out how to get the 2 prisms to rotate whilst also keeping the same like C-frame as where they're at right now. But in the end I did it and it looks really nice. That's about it for the spec. But let me get to the really unique part of the spec. So if we have the state set to release and we turn off the spec, nothing happens. It just explodes and the spec turns off, but we still keep the halo. But if we turn off the spec whilst we are awoken, something different happens, and I'll show it right now. So we suck in the particles from the air, pause, and then we explode. That's about it for the spec. There's nothing more to it, but this has to be my favorite spec I've made so far, just because of the VFX alone and how nice it looks. Because like the little like flowing effects on each prism as they rotate, it just looks very nice to me. Like it just, I don't know, it's just very satisfying to look at. But yeah, that's That's it for the spec. Now I'm gonna say some extra words at the end. The video pretty much ends here, but if you have the patience, please watch to the very end. I want to talk about some things I have planned, but I won't make it too long. But yeah, let me get to the outro. Before I get to announcing my future plans, I want to make a statement real quick. What I want to say is thank you again so much for the support on the last video. It really means the world to me. When I was looking back over the comments and then seeing all the likes and seeing all the good things said about me, I don't know, it's a good feeling, I'll tell you that. But I just want to say that I really appreciate each one of you guys for joining the server as well. The server hit 130 people, and I've met a lot of you guys from the last video, calling me inspirational and asking me for tips and me being able to help if I could. But all I want to say is thank you guys so much for the support. Honestly, it's crazy, and I'm gonna keep on doing better because this is really motivating me to get to even higher heights. But yeah, I'm gonna stop waffling. But yeah, thank you so much for the support. Anyways, my plans for the future. After this video, my next video hopefully will be on the upgraded inventory system. I want to make one because it will be really helpful in me in the long run, where I can start making certain items, combat choices, and just equipables. All of that will come really handy once I have a good inventory system. So yeah, my next video will be on an inventory system. If it's not, then it'll probably be like more VFX or something, but it probably won't be anything else. After I finish the inventory system, I'm gonna do combat system because I'm so excited to make combat. Even though I know I'm gonna start out being really bad, but eventually as time will pass, I'm gonna get really good at it. And I'm gonna spend a lot of time making sure my combat feels nice. And all my testers in my server are gonna test it out and give me their opinions. So I'm gonna make sure my combat is really, really good. And after I finish the combat, I'm gonna work on wave 2 of the cosmetic specs for all of my other testers. I don't have one yet. So here is the plan in a shortened version. So after this video, you have the improved inventory system, the combat system, and then wave 2 of cosmetic specs. After wave 2, I'm not too sure what I'm gonna do, but I'll figure it out when I get there. But right now, the current plan will help me get better as a developer. I'll probably do data stores next, but who knows? Yeah, that's it for the video. If you enjoyed it, please leave a like, please subscribe, comment if you want to, if you need to, but please join the Discord server. If you have any questions or anything to say to me, I'm always there. Well, not always, but most of the time I'm active and I'm talking with everyone. But yeah, if you want to communicate with me, join the server. I'm always there to talk to people. Yeah, that's it from me, and I'll see you in the next video. Until then.